Alright, so here we go. It's up to date. Let me make this big. So let's see first the normal Paladin tree. So far, everything looks the same. The position for Rebuke is also the same. There might have been some connections changed, so you don't have to... Yeah, in fact, let me also open up the old one. So, just looking at the shape of things, right? Like, look at this thing. You can immediately see the difference, and that's like... In the new one, we just have improved cleanse as the icon changed. And then everything else seems to be the same. Now, I'm already seeing some difference in the right side of the... Like, on the actual holy spec tree. But, yeah. This being the new one for the Paladin tree, we just see improved cleanse being a thing now. The position of everything is the same. I don't see any icons changing anymore. Let me see how this reads for holy. It just reads... Reducing Holy Shock's cooldown by 40%, so that's what we expected. What about wings? Nothing crazy over there. It's the same as always. There was some tweaks to Mad Paragon. Now it's called Zealot's Paragon, and it includes the Judgment side of things, so that's good. Seal of Order still reads the same way. Your holy power spending abilities deal 10% increased damage and healing in the dusk, and your armor increases 10% by 10%, and holy power generating abilities cool down by 10% faster. So, still says the same thing. I'm assuming it just works now. Over here, we are having this increase our intellect by 1%, only 2 stacks as before, so 2% increase intellect with this. I wonder if that's going to be a buff or a nerf. And everything seems to be just about the same. Now, let's move on to the actual holy tree, though. Let me click here so we can see the holy tree. So the thing that changed, as you can see here, is the position of the old scintillation, or rather echoing blessings. It has the same icon as scintillation. Now, this is the new tree. It's, instead of being here and only accessible if you pick Rule of Law, you can also access it by just going down this path. I think this was like the old position of it. Nothing crazy changed there. So at least you don't have to go through something you don't want to pick that. Also giving you maybe more options from this node downwards. Not a bad thing. I'll take that. So, anything big change? They did buff Boundless Salvation. Don't really know if this is gonna be that great of a thing. Anyways, what about Wings Might? How does this read now? Call upon the light and become an avatar of retribution, increasing your critical strike chance by 20% for 20 seconds. So that's all they did to it. They just removed the increased damage part, and now it gives you the critical strike part that you lost when they separated this from normal wings. So that is basically just what we had before. At least now we know for sure that's what they wanted to do. It makes it weaker than what it could potentially have been, but it is what it is. If you want more damage, you gotta pick that. And it definitely seems like 20% more crit during wings is quite above. I don't think there was any other changes to any of this other stuff. They did make Relentless Inquisitor only 1 stack. So this is wrong right here. This should be only 1 stack. And I am assuming this also goes to 5 with 1 stack. But it does not reflect in here right now. Otherwise... yeah, I think that's about it. They haven't really changed anything else in the tree. Everything looks the same. It's gonna be a matter of actually logging into the beta and playing around with things and see if things are actually fixed. In fact, we already have access to the PTR, I believe, so let's see if we can actually log in. The build has already been updated in the PTR. As you can see, we have the new loading screen. Looking good as fuck. Oh my god, that looks nice. And there we go. Level 60 character. Still not level 70 on the PTR. That will never be the case, really, until we have actually... That's never the point of the PTR, in fact, so... We're not gonna get level 70s over there. But your talents have been reset. Okay, so that means they have been actually changed in here. Yes, they have. Let's go through the movements then. Let's rebuild the tree of what I think would be... Okay, Unending Light has been actually implemented, so let's see what that looks like. This also seems to be changed in some way. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the visual of how I'm building this that it feels like it's changed. Like in a good way. Not really sure why. This also pops in a different way. Look at that. It like has a little delay, so it's like popping. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like different to me as well. But we're just rebuilding the same tree here. Picking the stuff that we had to pick before, pretty much. Let's do this. What build should this be, anyways? Oh yeah, I'm out of points already, right? Because I don't have. Oh yeah, it also looks shiny. The other options that I did not pick like shine for a second, but I don't have all the points because I'm not level 70. Let's just rebuild this to what it was before, but as best as we can. So we have improved cleanse. Let's get the things that we kind of want to test out. Anything that might be especially interesting. Mad Paragon and the Judgment increase to... Oh yeah, let's do Mad Paragon first and then we'll do... Okay, so that was immediate. That was like the first time I made a new build, so I guess that's why it didn't require a cast, but... So, whenever we now have wings active, wherever I put those... There we go. Our judgments are also going to increase the duration of wings, as well as Mad Paragon, so... Hammer Rats. So you can see I have 12 seconds, 11 seconds, and now I'm gonna use it when it's 8 and it's gonna go back to 9. Yes. So that's pretty huge. It's quite a huge buff to Mad Paragon. It's gonna make it much better. And we're just gonna have a lot more extension of wings, also giving Judgment a lot more value during wings. And by proxy also giving more value to Light's Hammer, because we're just gonna, or rather Judgment of Light, because we're just gonna be spamming that a lot more during wings. But also, I don't know. For the sake of damage, it is good. For the sake of healing, it's kind of good as well, but not as much. Because during wings, pressing Judgment was like the last thing you kind of wanted to do anyways. But now at least you have that going on for it. So that is no longer Mad Paragon. That's just gonna take a lot of time to get used to not calling it Mad Paragon. Let's remove a lot of these things and peak Seal of Order. And I also want to remove some other point if I can. No, I can't. I don't have enough. I wanted to pick all the points of Seal of Alacrity and just go down to Sanctify Wrath. But that's already what we used to have in normal Sanctify Wrath, right? Like reduce cooldown on Holy Shock. That's like what you would expect, I think, right? From retail, if I'm not confused. But now let's go to 5 Holy Power and see if we actually have Seal of Order working. Yes, we have. There it is. Blessing of Dawn. Damage and healing increased by 6%. Holy Power spending abilities deal 10% additional damage and additional increased damage and healing. So it's only applying to Shield of the Righteous, but that's quite a nice buff. And then, once we go to 0, we are going to get the buff to Blessing of Dusk. So we have our damage taken reduced by 4%. We have armor increased by 10%, and the Holy Power generating abilities are cooldowning 10% faster, so... Can we really feel that? Let's go down to 0 and see. So the cooldown on this recharge is 4.5. Whenever we get the buff, it says 4.5 still. But we can assume that's going to be a little bit faster. How could we tell, though? If it doesn't say in the tooltip. Can't really tell much, but recharging 1 second. I mean, we can't see the actual duration as it says right there. Recharging, 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 recharging. Okay. So let's go down to 0 now. Oh, it kind of bugged out because okay, no, it needed to. You need to have a charge recharging as you have the buff as well. So let's go back to 2 charges, get the buff, and see. Got the buff. It pretty much still said 5, so I guess it's working, but it's really hard to tell. You're just gonna have to trust it, and if it is working, it is working. It's kind of cool though. Blessing of Summer. Let's actually test Blessing of Summer. I don't think they changed anything about it. Can I use it on somebody? I guess on myself. It is still Blessing of Summer. They didn't change the tooltip, so that still says that it's gonna be turning, but it doesn't turn, so it is what it is. Look at that, it's shining now a little bit. So that's Seal of Order, it works now, that's pretty cool. We could play around with it and see how it feels. Sanctified Wrath. Okay, so this only now has to charge while it's changing talents, and you have that effect, so... Sanctified Wrath is now also going to increase the length of wings. Okay. So it's no longer 20, it's also 25, but it's now going to give us the reduced cooldown on Holy Shock by 40%. So we gotta go to the spell book because I never put wings anywhere. And there we go, we got a much shorter cooldown on that. 3.4. That's pretty good. We're just spamming it, and with Crusader Smite we can go back to Crusader Strike, Holy Shock, Crusader Strike, Holy Shock, Crusader Strike, Holy Shock, Crusader Strike, Holy Shock. So that is dope. That is dope. You can go back to Crusader Smite, Holy Shock, or Crusader Strike, Holy Shock. That's insane. And whenever Wings ends, it goes back up to a bunch more cooldown. Okay, so that's really good. That is really good. That's quite a buff to Wings, in particular to these talents, Sanctified Wrath. So a lot of the capstones have been buffed. In fact, every single capstone has been buffed in some way. At least Seal of Order works now. But this one, having that effect, has been buffed. Also kind of could call it fixed. Mad Paragon being changed to this, also having Judgment increase the duration of wings and doing 10% increased damage is also huge. Every capstone is now way more interesting. I love that. So all the decisions now are better. Let's see the thing about this. It's now called Cleanse, but also has the effects about removing poisons and diseases all baked into it. That is huge. Love that. Finally, we don't need another useless keybind for another spell. We pretty much, you know, make the same use of it. Really, it's just a dispel. And everything else has not been changed. There's not been any number changes. If I'm not forgetting anything, everything else remains the same. This one is now being implemented. It's just a change of, you know, amount of stats we get. In fact, let's apply these changes if I can even. You can't do so while Avenging Wrath is on cooldown. Oh, right, because I had this talented. Yeah. I mean, let me wait that out and see. I want to see how much mastery I get out of that. 25 goes to... It literally stayed the same. Oh, because it's only doing wings. Yeah, it's only doing wings. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. So I lost 1% haste. Now I'm tripping as well. So now we get from 25 to... It didn't change at all. It's the same. It still says the same. During Avenging Wrath, I should have 8% increased mastery. It's 25. I've removed Avenging Wrath and it still says 25. So this is not doing anything right now. It is supposed to be implemented. In fact, this is also implemented on Ending Light. Each holy power spent on ladder down increases the healing of your next word of glory by 5%, up to maximum of 45%. Is this gonna give us a buff that we can track? No. It doesn't give anything. Also, this still goes all the way to 3 stacks, so we can... Hold up. Oh yeah, okay, that was just 0.5, now it's 1... Okay. There is no buff to it. There is no buff to this. But we can test the difference between the different casts of Word of Glory. So how much is it? It is 45. It is 5% per holy power spent, so that is 3 casts. So this should be the 3rd cast, should be fully charged now. And now I'm gonna heal myself with Word of Glory. If I don't lose the proc of Divine Purpose. And it does 28, almost 29 with a critical strike. Now let's do a normal one without the buff. Okay, this one didn't crit, so we gotta do another one. Alright. Well, the other one critical striked. for 28. The next one didn't critical strike, but it was 17. And the next one only did 15k somehow. Let's do another one here, see if it critical strikes. No, it probably is gonna be faster to just get 3 casts out so we can see the buff one without a critical strike. Unlucky me that I critical strike when I didn't need it. Okay, that's 2. And that's 3. And let's generate the holy power, drop wings, so I have good point of comparison. Heal myself, and it was only 16.6. And the next one that should not be buffed did 17, so that thing's not working. That's not working. That's still not working. Seems like it's the same case as Seal of Might. It's not yet actually working. Kinda weird. Anyways, that's basically it. There's nothing else. This is still not properly fixed, apparently, according to what was said in the blog post. If we go back to the blog post, they said for Holy that... Let me find it though. Let me just actually search for the name. Probably gonna be faster. Relentless Inquisitor. Oh, it was right there. Maximum rank has been changed from 2 to 1. Still remains at 2 right now in the PTR. And the PTR contains a new version of the tree. So that's basically still remains as what it is. Or what it was. Is Avenging Crusader working? Let's find out. Yeah, 2 ranks. And nothing new there. Avenging Crusader, still bugged, or is it working? Did they change the icon on Intercession? Okay, now it works. Yes. Yes, it does work. Perfect, so we can see it's healing people and blah blah blah. Also, will Avenging Crusader work with Mad Paragon? Yeah, it will work really well because of the increased judgment damage. So that means more healing. So we know we need to wait for wings to reset, but then we could also extend the duration of Avenging Crusader by throwing those judgments. So that's huge. But now we need to reset the Avenging Crusader. So let's wait for a couple seconds here and see how much we can reset that to make it. Let me read through some of the comments here. I haven't been looking at the chat at all. You take Avenging Crusader, does Awakening proc or is just Avenging Wrath? Let's see, let's find out. Vintage is on PTR, so not sure if the code lines up with beta, but I think Unending Light works. There is no buff for it. Well, it didn't do anything. Sanctified Wrath to change. Yep, we checked that out. Well, Sanctified Wrath, hold up. What am I tripping for a second? Yeah, I'm not tripping. We checked that. It's been not just the tooltip change, but also the thing. Seal of Order does not seem to update the tooltip on the CD, though. It's updating the tooltip on the buff. Seal of Clarity doesn't seem to work for me. Seal of Clarity was this... Clarity? Clarity, this one. Oh. Yeah, I haven't really seen this one really like in action. I've always assumed it did work, but hey, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Happy with the Sanctified Wrath with Glimmer. Seal of Clarity doesn't work, at least on PTR. Seal of Might and Clarity broken. Seal of Might is just supposed to... What? Hold up. Seal of Might. There's a lot of seals. There's way too many seals. Seal of Might, that one, yeah. That one doesn't work. Related to the talent you searched. Okay. That's pretty cool. Do you know if they're gonna test the raid? They will, I think, but I don't know when. So, seems late already for it. I don't know. We're just in September. The expansion is supposed to release in November. 2 months from now. I mean, this is still really unfinished. As of now. I don't really know how much they changed this beta build, but there was a lot of stuff just unfinished, at least with Holy Paladin. The dungeons we tested had a lot of broken stuff, at least one of them did a lot. And there's a lot of balancing to still do. Is this gonna release in a good state? You cannot expect this to release in a good state, man. We're talking about Blizzard. Of course it's gonna be broken. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that's not gonna be properly balanced, and it will have to get fixed over the patches. That's just how Blizzard works. At least they will ship the game in a playable state, probably, but do you expect it to be perfect? It's never gonna be perfect, man. It's a live development game. It's always gonna be a changing process, and we called it beta for Azeroth for a reason. That's how it works from ever since I've been playing this game. You've been live testing the game as it's actually gone live, so. You don't think they did much for us this build? Probably the Silver Hand seems to work. It does. At this point we got Caster. Isn't that fixated for now? It's gonna be a mess at start, at least they don't have to fix power and shit. Yeah, that's something. That is true. Caster stuff hasn't changed much. If they fixed Power of the Silver Hand, that's something to play around with. That is a buff. This read the following: Holy Light and Flash of Light have a chance to grant you Power of the Silver Hand, increasing the healing of your next Holy Shock by 10% of all damage and healing effective done within the next 10 seconds up until a maximum of a bunch. So only 10% of healing and the damage done. That means that you need to do 400% or 400k damage or healing, or both of them together, during the next 10 seconds to buff your next Holy Shock to the max. It's gonna give you fatter Holy Shocks, which is gonna be good. It's gonna be really good, actually. I wonder what the proc rate is, though. Where did we check that last time? It was in Wowhead, wasn't it? I mean, we gotta pick it, so okay, let's just see. Okay, so how much duration we can get onto our Avenging Crusader buff. So let's go. I don't even know, but I've done like 1 Judgment and 1 Hammer of Wrath. That's a 2nd Judgment, so 1 of each. 1 of each. 3 of each. So that's 6 seconds already. And 4 of each, so that's 8 seconds increase on Avenging Crusader. And that's 1 more, and that's 1 more. So we got 10 extra seconds on Avenging Crusader. 10 extra seconds. If we are able to spec into Sanctified Wrath, which we are, then we can also get this to last 5 extra seconds, which would probably give us another usage of... No, I wouldn't give us another one of either of them, because they have longer cooldowns than 5 seconds. But Hammer of Wrath is reduced by haste, whereas Judgment seems to also be, but like it's 9 seconds cooldown, so it's a lot longer. We could potentially get upwards of extra 12 seconds if we play Avenging Crusader. So we could get that for a total of, what is it, 37 seconds? 37-second duration on Avenging Crusader, that's really good. If we get 12-second extension on top of a 25-second duration. Unfortunately, we cannot talent into Sanctified Wrath here on the PTR, so we can't see that. But if we talent onto Sanctified Wrath, we can see that it says that our wings last for... You are in combat. They do last for 25 seconds instead of 20. They should. Maybe Avenging Crusader is always capped at 20 seconds. That's what it seems to be. Let's just find out, though. Appreciate the sub very much, Yuriko. The sound is not actually playing, but thank you so much. Let's see, it's 25, so it does, okay, it is 25, so we could potentially, with more haste, get this to last for 37 seconds if you're able to always use Judgment and Hammer of Wrath on cooldown. On top of that, Veneration could give you even more extension if you get procs of Hammer of Wrath. There it is. That is a lot of Avenging Crusader. Now, Avenging Crusader still does what it does. It hasn't been buffed in any way besides the Judgment thing, so... or rather, besides the interaction with Matt Paragon, extending the duration from Judgment as well. So, is that gonna be, like, good enough? Probably not. I don't know. It's interesting, though. Kinda shit we cannot pick both at the same time now, but... What else was I thinking about testing? We know this works, and it could potentially do quite decent numbers. What else was I thinking about? Hold up. Oh yeah, power of a silver hand. Yes, yes, power of a silver hand. True. Stacks twice and hit hard? Hold up. Stacks twice and hits hard. 100% proc rate and it procs twice on 2 beacons? Cast Flash of Light. I don't see Veneration proc that much out of this though. If you play a caster build, it would proc a little bit more. But a caster build with Avenging Crusader seems like a little bit weird. But still, you could have like that interaction where you actually only go melee when you pop wings. That could be a thing. I mean, that's like a separate thing. But it would obviously break the I am ranged kind of thing. Anyways, let's see how it procs. So it procs off of Holy Light and Flash of Light. It says has a chance. Is it gonna be 100%? It is as of now, it seems. I just got a proc. So I got 10 seconds to do a lot of healing. See what that adds up to. Effective healing and damage done. It only says effective... Oh, hold up. No, that's just a separate buff. Okay. Okay, so it only says effective healing. But it's also damage. It's also damage. What is the internal cooldown of it anyways? None. Hold up, that's huge. Okay. So it's increasing the thing, but the tooltip only says healing, which is fucked. What if I cast another Flash of Light? I get it again. What if I recast it? I keep extending the duration? Okay. Alright. Okay, so we have 100% uptime of this if we are like playing a caster build. We just keep on getting fat Holy Shocks. So we're always going to be doing damage and healing, therefore we're just going to keep on getting fatter and fatter Holy Shocks. Yo, what up, Nost? Long time no see. How pissed is Paladin? Oh man, we just got a lot of things fixed and changed, and it might be a massive amount of buffs. Now, I don't think this works as intended, because it says, has a chance to grant you power of a silver hand. It says a chance, and it's a 100% chance. That is obviously a chance, but 100 is, you know, why would you even specify if it's 100, right? So I think something's not working properly here. I guess they just want to test this thing out. But yeah, tooltip still only says effective healing will be added until the next Holy Shock. So the damage is being counted, but the tooltip is bugged, and we just get, once we do the damage, we get also we still have this thing, Sanctified Round, not being able to be slowed below 80% of normal movement speed. Pretty good for some scenarios, I guess, but the buff lasts for how long? What is it, like 12-15 seconds? I proc it, and then I get it. It's 15 seconds duration. Okay, 15 second duration of the buff. So you're always gonna be using this. This is gonna be used constantly. Every time you're gonna be Holy Shocking. So you're gonna be Holy Shocking every 5, 4, 3 seconds, depends on what you're playing. And that will be consumed on cooldown, no problem. It's a matter of how often and how much you can stack the buff up to be. But that's huge. Maybe not intended, but at least that is huge. I mean, with just in the normal builds... oh yeah, if you're just playing Veneration with a melee build and not casting, then it still kind of sucks. If you use it more, Holy Shock does it instantly proc again? Hold up. Let's see if it's consumed actually, yeah. We consume it. It didn't get consumed though. Oh, shit, okay. It didn't get consumed when I used the Holy Shock. Your next Holy Shock will do additional healing. I Holy Shock, and now it did. Okay, now it did. Did it just... What the hell? Okay, Holy Shock, and the buff is... Oh, it's immediately reapplied. Okay, it's immediately reapplied because I still have the buff. So I consume the buff, but I immediately get it again. Alright. So, it consumes it for healing only? Well, not sure. Shouldn't be the case, right? Like, you just get a buff and it says deals an additional amount of healing. That is true. How does it read? Effective healing you do within the next 10 seconds. Yeah, it does say only increases the healing of the Holy Shock, so it doesn't actually make it do more damage. That is fine though. We're looking at a caster build that could potentially, like, it's starting to shape up to have more and more healing added onto it. Yeah. I don't know, that's definitely a massive buff to it. I'm sad they didn't do anything about Barrier of Faith, but they also increased the power of Boundless Salvation quite a little bit. Tears of Deliverance also getting more and more valuable. Yeah, the thing about caster is it might just happen. Like, it's not just gonna be viable. It might just be good. So you cannot just, like, disregard it. There's the question of, is it gonna be a hybrid between melee and caster, or is it gonna be a full ranged? I don't think the hybrid thing will ever, like the full ranged thing will ever happen, but still, we could pretty much be casting under pretty much a lot of circumstances. Yeah, can't really outrule anything. Still not working, Barrier of Faith? Barrier of Faith worked before, it just sucks. Consumption for healing all? Yeah, that we already talked about. It's only for healing, the consumption thing. So Barrier of Faith, let me put that, it's already there somewhere. Oh, there it is. So it's only accumulating off of the actual healing done, yes. So that still works that way. Doesn't proc off of the overhealing, so that's still dog shit. And the values on it are still the same, so that's still just as bad. Nothing changed about it. It didn't stack healing for me. Oh, because you're not healing yourself. You need to heal yourself. Yeah, it says 0 healing, but you need to actually heal yourself. It does not work on overhealing. If we jump and we take damage and we use that on ourselves and then we heal ourselves as a flash of light, the buff says 1719. Yes. So long as the boss don't treat you as ranged, should be fine. Yeah, if they force you to be ranged, if the bosses treat you as ranged, then there's no question, like you are ranged. Or you would be fucked up and try and be melee, but also have to play a range. So, if we're still regarded as a melee, we could do anything we want, honestly. Not a bad thing. I don't know. I don't think it's that clear, but if this is supposed to work the way it is, then that definitely makes the ranged build a little bit more interesting. Like, Holy Shock just being fat. Holy Shock's being fat and increasing quite a little bit off of, like, let's just say you're dropping Consecration and you're playing Mythic Plus, right? You're still melee. You're dropping Consecrations, but, you know, the damage from anything you do will be stacked up. And you're probably gonna be generating Holy Power still normally. Maybe not picking up... I don't know. Would you pick up Crusader's Might? I guess you would. I don't know, man. It's so many things. It's so many questions, so many possibilities. It's such a mess. That's the problem. It's such a fucking mess. Because we've been just, like, ignoring casting for years, and now we suddenly have, like, casting possibly being a thing we want to do because it's gonna be strong. But you're not gonna be fully casting because Holy Power exists, so you wanna be generating Holy Power, also casting, and there's a lot of things that make your casts fat, your Holy Shocks fat. Even not memeing Crusader's Might, just being, like, enhanced by Mad Paragon working the way it does could be fucking huge, but that just also counts for normal wings. But the thing is, Avenging Crusader, you know, the big healing button when you're playing it is Judgment. So Judgment also being buffed by 10% when you have wings active, and extending the wings is a massive buff to Avenging Crusader. I don't know, man. This is weird. This is starting to get weird.